Welcome to Unsolving the Wing T, where we break down the Wing T offense in its entirety, series by series, and play by play. I'm Coach Laz, and in this video, we will be discussing the Waggle within the Buck series. So the Buck series can be broken down into two main run plays, which are the Buck sweep and the Buck trap, and then one main pass play, which is the Waggle, which is what we're going to be discussing today. So what is the Waggle? So the Waggle is going to be a play action pass play that is going to be paired to look the same as Buck sweep. So since it's play action, the backfield action is the same, and then we're going to boot out and it's going to become a play action pass. It's going to utilize a combination of angled down blocks, pulling guards as a moving pocket, and a run fake paired with misdirection in the backfield to attack the perimeter of the defensive line and also the secondary of the defense. This play can be done both in the pocket and as a bootleg, but it is primarily kind of known as a bootleg outside of the pocket pass play. So when do you want to call the Waggle? So the Waggle is a great base play, great bread and butter play, especially if you are Buck series heavy. It is the base pass play within this series, and it is extremely advantageous, especially if you have a mobile quarterback who adds the additional run option to the play. So you have a series of different options based off of your skill level within your offense. Situationally speaking, it is great on first down or coming out. So this really throws off tendencies of a defensive coordinator. So if you constantly run on first down, well, then if you get a fresh pair of downs or you get a massive turnover, something like that, and you throw the ball on first down, that's going to break a ton of tendencies, and this play should be wide open. Second and long is also very, very good for this pass play because you're not in a obvious passing situation because you still have potentially third and fourth down to get the first down. So second and long is good. And then finally, third and medium. I'm not in love with Waggle on third down. That's kind of why I put it on third and medium. It gives you an option, A, to either run the ball with the quarterback or hit somebody open, one of the receivers who should be open. And if it's third and medium, you're not necessarily in a passing situation, so you could be both run or pass. So I think a combination of a play action pass can really be utilized well here. What you should be looking for on the defensive line is that backside defensive end. So we talked about in the Buck sweep and the Buck trap how you want to be keying the front side. Well, in the Waggle, you want to be keying the backside. So if he's squeezing hard because that backside tackle is pull checking and he's coming right off the edge and he's not respecting the quarterback boot, then you're going to have the bootleg wide open. So you want to ID him, ID the backside defensive end. Also, if that play side safety is screaming down and trying to stop the Buck sweep, then you have the play action pass off of it because you will end up having numbers to the opposite side. And then finally, after that Buck sweep has been stopped, after the Buck trap has been stopped, you've been having success, running the ball, but then the defense makes their adjustments, then the Waggle is going to be a perfect complement to those run plays. So now let's take a look at how to actually run the Waggle play. So if you look here in the backfield, the first thing you're going to see is it looks exactly like Buck sweep. So that's going to kind of determine how we call this play. So the Waggle tells the offensive line that it is opposite of the run play. So in the backfield here, we're going to tag it with a 28. And this tells the wingback that we are faking 28 Buck sweep. So again, we want this same backfield action. So breaking it down right to left position by position, the wing who is not getting the ball, who is not play action faking, your rule is either a crosser on the deep cross if you do not have a tight end, but if you have a tight end, you are on what we call a solid route. So it's a combination between a post and a seam route. So we call it a solid. The S for the seam, the O for the post. Your aiming point on this is the closest upright. So if you can imagine the field goal post right here, you'd be going to the right upright. The tight end, if you are backside, so if you were to the 28, you have the drag because you are number 3. If you are front side, you would have, if you are play side, you would have the corner route. Since you're in tight, you would just have a normal corner. Fullback is always going to be in the flat. And then the wide receiver is going to be on a crack corner route. So Up front wise, pass protection wise, like I said, it is a moving pocket. So this right tackle, since we're going to the left here, you are going to pull hinge. In box sweep, backside is going to pull check. You're going to pull hinge here. So step with your left and then really turn your shoulders and create a backside wall here to cut off anything that might be coming backside. This backside guard, you're going to pull skate. You're going to pull with depth. Okay, you're going to be behind this fullback coming out. You want to kind of be slow here. You don't need to be in a rush, okay, because we're faking here in the backfield, and then you have to let the quarterback get out and around. So you are in no rush to get outside, but you must pull with depth. You must pull behind this logging frontside guard and become the what we call personal protector of the quarterback in case he runs. So you are listening to the go call from the quarterback if he decides to run the ball. Center's rule is away on. So we have a backside 3 technique here. You're going to block back. Frontside guard, you're going to log the first guy outside of the tackle. Log the first guy outside of the tackle. And then the play side tackles rule is pretty much gap down. So anything that is inside your gap here, you're going to wash it down. Quarterback, you are going to reverse off the midline, faking 28 or faking the buck sweep. Okay. Once you fake, you are going to gain depth, okay, and then boot out opposite of the number. Your reads are this. You're going to peek the deep ball, and then you are going to either run as a primary option, check down to the fullback into the flat, or number 4, hit your crosser coming across the middle. We touched on the fullback a little bit, but it's important that you step off of the midline, clear this path for the quarterback, go B-gap through the tackle and center into the flat no more than 4 yards. You don't want to start to drift into this crosser, this tight end, or the wing who's crossing at 10 to 12 yards. This wing, you want to open 90, get a good shoulder fake, good ball fake of the buck sweep, 1, 2, 3, and get vertical like you have the ball. Now, if this backside backer crashes, you want to pick him up because you want to help form this wall if there's backside pressure because you don't want your quarterback being chased down from behind. Play side receiver. So if you were on this corner, if you were out wide as a wide receiver, you want run what we call a crack corner. On buck sweep, you've been running a crack in the safety on those touchdown blocks. Now we're going to make it look exactly like that. So when you get to 8 yards of depth, 2 yards away from the hash, you're going to plant with your inside foot and aim for the back pylon. If you were in tight, it would just be a normal 10-yard corner route. So I will slow it down here. You can kind of pause it if you need to. This kind of tells everything what each position is. And then again, if your quarterback decides to run, which is what you should be looking for, because again, this is a great option to get the quarterback involved in the run game. He needs to yell go, which identifies this guard, hey, you become more of a run blocker now instead of a pass blocker, and it tells the receivers, you're done running your route, you need to pick up a block down the field, okay? So we're all kind of accustomed, or most of us should be accustomed to what an RPO is, so a run-pass option. You might be familiar with it from the gun off of inside zone or outside zone or something like that. Well, in the wing T, this is kind of a series of an RPO. And the mesh point is different, but what I mean by that is once your quarterback gets out of the pocket, he has an option to either A, run the football first, or pass it to these receivers, the fullback in the flat, or the crosser coming backside. Okay, so that's what we mean when we say an RPO within the wing T. Now, this backside solid route, you do not want to throw this unless it comes up from the booth. Okay, it is very difficult for your quarterback to get outside of the pocket and throw all the way across his body, okay, to a receiver who he's not primarily reading. But if you run it a handful of times, 2 or 3 times, and you notice they're not respecting this backside solid route because the safety's rolling down, corner's rolling down to kind of stop the buck sweep, well, then all you have to do is tell your quarterback, hey, peek the solid route. He knows he shouldn't get as deep in this bootleg. He's going to pull up right when he gets a yard or so outside of the tackle box, peek this backside solid route, and then hit it if it's wide open. Okay, if not, go through the rest of your progression. But if they haven't been respecting it 9 times out of 10, when you call it, it'll be open. So just getting a little bit more in depth with it, with this base 4-4 here, this over front, you have a 7 technique, a 3 technique, a backside shade or 2-eye, and then a backside 5 with 4 linebackers clouding the box with a high safety. So this backside tackle, you're going to pull check, then hinge. So this 3 right here is your number one priority. You do not want him cutting this gap off. You do have help from the center here, but you do not want any penetration. So you need to step with your left foot and then hinge your body and cut these 2 guys off backside. Center, you are on away, but since you have help here from the tackle, you can block back onto the 3 technique. Again, this backside guard, you're going to pull around for most likely this outside linebacker who is force player, or if it's the middle linebacker who is going to be run through. Front side guard, you're going to pull for the first guy outside of the play side tackle. So you're just going to pull and log this defensive end. So we have numbers everywhere now. So this guy is accounted for with this guy. This guy is accounted for with the play side guard. If the linebacker runs through, then we hit the fullback into the flat. If he stays, we have the quarterback option to run. And then backside, these guys should be held with the buck fake here. All right. So everything in this play should be open, and it should work against every single defense. Here would be the only difference here if you have an under front. So this center would block back on this 2-eye or shade. It becomes a very, very easy block. All he would do was step with his right foot, kind of position block him, not allowing any penetration in this front side A gap. And then this front side tackle would just block down on the 3 technique. Very, very similar to the normal gap scheme of buck sweep, and then we would just still log this 5 with the play side. So everything should be accounted for up front here. There shouldn't be anybody in the box making a play, and then it would just come down to your skill positions making a play against the secondary. So if the corner runs with this will open up everything. If he sits, this deep ball does come open. This is why it's called a peak route, because these corners, especially at the high school level, they will peak in the backfield. So as soon as he kind of starts to go inside looking like he's going to go block the safety, if it's not man, it's normal zone, then this corner might go off of him, and then this over the top route will be wide open, which is why we say, hey, it's number 1 in your progression, but you have to peak it. It's not a full force read. It's just if he's wide open, we want to take what they're giving us. So here's how it would change versus a 3-4 or a 52 defense. Again, we're running this to the left, so 28. Backside is on the solid route. Number 3 is on the crosser. Fullback is in the flat, and front side has the crack corner route if you're out wide, normal corner route if you are in tight. So the backside tackle, you were going to hinge back on this 5 technique. If this linebacker blitzes in this B gap, you have to pick him up because this guard is leaving. If not, then we just backside hinge on this backside 5 technique. Backside guard, you are pulling with some depth. You become the personal protector, letting the fullback have priority going into the flat first, so you're right behind him. And then you become that personal protector looking for the go call, looking for the force player who is run through. Center is on or away here, so you have a nose tackle. This is your priority. You have to take him. And then front side guard is going to log the first guy outside of the defensive end. And this is kind of where it gets a little tricky, and you have a couple of different options here. So with this tackle, you have no inside threat. There's not a 2, there's not a 3, there's nothing like that. You just have a normal 5. So we give our guys a little bit of freedom. If you don't see this linebacker creeping, then you can reach this front side 5 technique. Now, you still have gap responsibility. So if this play side linebacker starts to creep down inside here, yes, you have to gap him, and then our guard will get this 5 technique. If not, we can reach this. We have an extra blocker here for the 9 technique, and then we have an additional blocker from the backside who allows us to have a little bit more of a run option. Okay, so again, your gap priority if this linebacker shows here in this B gap. Otherwise, we give you the freedom to reach, and then we get an extra number with this guard pulling on the 9 technique. Otherwise, if he does show, we gap him, we log the 5, and the backside guard will get the 9 technique. And then it's option between this linebacker and then in the flat. Quarterback, again, you are on the midline, you are straight back faking to the backside wing here on buck sweep. Fullback has priority over the backside guard into the B gap, no more than 4 yards. And then This wing right here, good fake of 28 bucks sweep. You are 1, 2, 3, get vertical, selling that run. Again, if this backside 9 technique or outside linebacker crashes, okay, then you need to kind of pick him off, create this wall with the backside tackle. Quarterback, you are peeking deep first. Once you're outside of the pocket, your first priority is to run. And then if not, you go through your normal progression. 2 to the fullback, 3 to the backside cross. Do not throw the solid route unless it is tagged. If you decide to run, give the go call, identifying to your receivers that they need to stock block, and then your backside guard, that he should pick up anything that comes to him. So everything should be accounted for numbers-wise. So if this linebacker blitzes, we have him here with the tackle. If he doesn't, he needs to decide, hey, am I going with the fullback or am I running through on the quarterback? Backside linebacker, you should be held with the buck sweep fake. And then everything over the top, if it's zone corner, deep ball might be open. But again, we have all of our progressions and numbers. So it's a very, very easy read for the quarterback. We make everything very, very easy. Everything's a numbering system, and it makes sense if you teach it correctly. Okay, this is Waggle versus a 3-3. This is one of those defenses that we've talked about a little bit before, how it does become a little bit more challenging to pull the guards because of the interior pressure that this defense gives. But nonetheless, this is the solution to this defense. So again, routes don't change. Front side is a corner, fullback's always on the flat. Number 3 has a crosser, and then backside has the post or the solid route. If he's out wide here, yes, it would be a normal post, so he has to get all the way across. If he's in tight here as a wing, it's going to be that solid route. So backside tackle, you are going to pull check, then hinge. You have an interior pressure here with this 3 technique, so you cannot let any penetration here in this B gap. You do not have help from the center because he has a nose tackle, and you have no backside help here because this guard is leaving. So don't allow any penetration here. Pull check, then hinge your body. Backside guard, you are leaving. So again, giving priority to this fullback, getting deep, allowing the spacing and timing, and you're becoming the personal protector. Center, you are on or away. You have a nose tackle here, so you should step with your left foot, kind of cut him off, seal block him so he can't get to the front side A gap. Front side guard, you are logging the first guy outside of the play side tackle. Now the play side tackle, you have gap responsibility. Now you have a 3 technique, so you have to gap down on him. And then we will log this 7 technique with the front side guard. So the 3 high safety look makes it a little bit more challenging, but with the wing team motion, they should all kind of spin or rotate to the motion. So this safety will be down, this safety will be over here, and then this safety should roll back to the motion. And then we have a personal protector if it's this safety on the run or if it's the linebacker running through. But ideally, he should be held with this buck fake going this way. Whenever you start getting into the blitzing, there becomes a little bit more of a challenge because you don't have the numbers because of your interior gaps. So if he does decide to blitz a gap, right, then your fullback is going to have to kind of chip him on his way. And then we would still have numbers with the quarterback in the run game. But receiving wise, you have the crack corner, 8 yards deep, 2 yards from the hash. Back pylon is the aiming point. 10 to 12 yard crosser. If it's zone, you want to sit down in the zone. If it's man, we're going to continue to go. And then we have the fullback into the flat, no more than 4 yards. Quarterback footwork is the exact same. You are on the midline, reversing out, faking the buck sweep, booting out, looking through your progression, peek deep, then run, then flat, then the crosser. And again, only throwing the solid route if it is called from above. If you decide to run, give the go call, let your receivers know, and then it also lets your personal protector guard know that, hey, I'm running the football. So everything should be accounted for here again. You start to kind of, again, run into issues if you get these safeties creeping down into the box. But with the play action, it should hit over the top. So the solid route should be open because this corner might roll up and then it's open, or the deep crosser might be open, things like that. So when they start crowding the box, it's good to take shots over the top like that. So we'll get into some film real quick here. So this is in a playoff game. We are in a tight condensed formation here. We're going to fake 49 and then boot out to our right on a waggle. So our corner route is tight here with the tight end. So he has the corner. Backside wing is going to have the crosser, solid route, and then the fullback into the flat. So I'll play it through here and then we will discuss and talk about it. So it's the 1-2-3 on the motion, good fake, deep route. You want to peek it first, and that is exactly why, because it does come open. Once they start crowding the box like that, and these corners roll up, they get their eyes on the backfield, it comes wide open over the top. So we'll slow it down here. We'll go position by position. This wing right here, 1-2-3 on the motion, heels of the fullback, getting a good buck sweep fake. It holds these linebackers, it holds these safeties in the secondary because of how good of a fake it was. And if you notice, this is on first down. So we have been running buck sweep very, very well. And we decided, hey, we're getting close inside. Not quite into the red zone yet, but we're very close to scoring. We're going to try to take a shot on first down, and it ended up working out for us. So great fake here by the wing back. Nobody comes, so he can continue. There's no backside pressure, so he can continue running like he has the football. Front side, we're going to get a gap lock down on that front side 3 technique. Guard is going to log. Now he ends up logging the wrong guy. He should get this guy, but he goes to the outside linebacker. But you'll notice that our fullback, he sees interior pressure. He kind of gets caught up in that, which helps that middle interior of the offensive line, so there's no pressure on our quarterback. Center, there's no front side pressure because we have a 3 technique, so he's going to block back. And then our backside guard pulls with depth. Notice how our backside guard lets our fullback go first, and then he starts to gain a little bit of depth as that personal protector. Fullback goes first, he gains depth, he's listening to the quarterback. Nobody really comes through on the run through because they're all held with a run fake. We have a clean moving pocket, and everything is wide open. Backside, we hinge, eliminating that backside pressure. And then our backside wing route has the crosser. He's also open in the middle of the field. And then again, this is where the booth comes into. You notice how far our quarterback gets outside of the pocket here on this run play, but the backside solid route is wide open right here with this kid. Now, this would be a booth call. Next time we run this play, I'd be like, hey, look out for the solid route. We might tag that in the huddle. So he's not going to go as far outside of the pocket. Like I said, maybe a yard or 2 outside, set his hips, set his feet, and then throw the backside solid route if we wanted to. But nonetheless, really successful play here, especially down here close to scoring on first down. Throws off some tendencies, and it works out great. All right, here's another example of waggle to the tight end side. So you're going to get the corner. You're going to fake 49 here. Quarterback's going to boot out to his right. We have the backside crosser. And then this should be a backside solid route, but there was a mistake here. Fullback going into the flat. We should be down here. Frontside guard is going to log first guy outside of the tackle. Center is going to block back because there's no A-gap pressure, his front side. Backside guard pull with some depth, looking for anything that might be run through as the personal protector. So our quarterback makes a very, very good decision here. He extends the play with his feet. You'll notice that the pocket wasn't the best because our frontside guard here doesn't log this guy. He goes a gap wider. Okay, so there's some interior pressure, which causes our backside guard to pick him up as well because he goes for the right guy. There's some interior pressure. Our quarterback sees that he can't necessarily get all the way outside of the pocket because we don't have a successful log block here, and then the guy who should be getting this guy would have to just wall him off anyways, so we cut up inside. So our quarterback is smart. He sees that. He notices that the deep ball isn't here. This guy is capped. He goes and he works his progression. It should be to run. Can he run? No, he has interior pressure. He should have stepped up and threw this, but he extended the play. He went through his progression, and then he hit the backside drag route, which went for a really, really big gain here. Our receivers downfield pick up a block, and then this guy should have outran him. Obviously, he did not, but we get tackled at the 4-yard line, and it is a really, really big gain, and it sets us up for an eventual score. We'll play it through a couple more times. Something else I think that is worth noting here is it is first down, so throwing the ball on first down is very, very vital. It throws off tendencies and everything like that. So, again, everything does work if it is called correctly. You're going to get the wing who does a 1-2-3 motion, heels with the fullback, great fake, holds these linebackers here. They don't know where the ball is, okay, and it opens up front side tremendously. And then, our guys are just able to make a play in space. So you can see that how there's so many different options within the waggle play. We showed you last time how we hit the corner, and then how if something breaks down, something's going to be open, this backside drag, and it went for a really, really big gain. We'll show you one more, different receiver getting the ball, and then we will wrap it up. All right, so our last one here today is going to be another waggle to the right. So this wing back is going to motion. We're going to fake 49. Quarterback's going to boot to the right. Now, this is to the wide receiver side. So you're going to get a crack corner 8 yards, and then to the back pylon. Fullback should be into the flat. Backside tight end dragging, and then the solid route. So those are the 4 options in the pass game, and then the quarterback has the option to run. You're going to see how this play is wide open, and then our quarterback makes a smart decision, takes what the defense gives them, and it turns into a really, really big gain. So we're going to get a good motion here. 1, 2, 3. Heels of the fullback. Good fake. Okay, quarterback turns up. Everybody's wide open, but he's going to decide to run and take off. Again, I think he probably should have scored here, but we get knocked out around the 5 or so, and it turns into a really, really big gain. So we get a great crack corner route here. He's going to sell like he's running for the safety, plant at the hash, and he comes wide open. Again, these corners who play in off zone, things like that, they're going to get their eyes into the backfield. So you can see here as we progress, he's not looking at this wide receiver. He's looking into the backfield, and it allows this guy to plant with his inside foot, go to the back pylon, and he pops wide open over the top. If he wanted to, he could have thrown this, but he was outside of the pocket already. He was already past this progression. He should have thrown it down here into the flat, or he had the tight end wide open, but he decided, since there was so much open space with 2 additional blockers, that it was the best decision, and obviously it worked out for us. Going up front here, so we have 2 A-gap pressures here, so it becomes a little bit challenging for the guards to pull out and around. The pocket might get a little cloudy, but nonetheless, we get a down block from our front side tackle. Now, this guard, he had been messing up a little bit, but he should log this guy, and then our backside guard can get this outside linebacker. They'll be held here with the fake, and then it's between this guy and the fullback, or if he wants to take the quarterback. So we do have numbers front side, but unfortunately we missed a log block from 75 here. He should get him since our tackle's going down. And then it's a smart decision by our quarterback. He sees, hey, I can't get outside, so he sees the wall. He cuts up inside of that. Post-snap, he has great vision. He cuts up through, and it's all green grass from there. Backside, center does a tremendous job blocking back here on this pressure because there's a dual A-gap threat. Guard gets depth. He sees that inside pressure, and he's going to eliminate that, and it opens up a lane for the quarterback to run. Backside, we check here, hinge our body, put ourselves between the defender and the football, and nobody's able to make the play here. This is a good fake here. Shoulders are down from this wing, really selling like he has the ball here. I would have liked to have seen him pick up this backside pressure here by 32 since he is chasing. But nonetheless, still a really good play action fake here. And you'll notice that fullback has priority over that guard. He's into the flat B gap, and it creates a lot of good timing and spacing, and this play really, really works out for us. Another thing I finally want to point out here, this is on first down. So I said throwing off tendencies from a defensive coordinator might be your best friend when calling the waggle play. Obviously, we were up big in this game, and we were trying to score one more time before halftime. But throwing on first down, running this waggle play as an RPO, as a run-pass option, creates so many problems for the defense, especially if you're running the Buck sweep series or the Buck series very, very well. So again, That is the Buck series, play-by-play, series by series. We've talked about the Buck sweep, the Buck trap, and now finally the Waggle. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. And the next time we will get into the Belly series.